Hi everybody, my name is StarrPR and I'm here today representing StarrPR Public Relations Group. We specialize in boutique style, marketing, public relations, and branding for music artists, visual and performing artists, as well as small businesses and nonprofit organizations. So today I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of public relations.
Why is it important to approach a music career from a business standpoint?
Well, for me, that's a no-brainer. I went to school, I obtained my degree in business, so pretty much a lot of the information that I know about consumerism, which drives, what people are purchasing, is from a business psychology standpoint. So in terms of approaching your business, your music career as a business, it's very important. It's very important to take it seriously and to think about the bottom line. So in thinking about the bottom line, you want to create a market for yourself. In creating a market for yourself, you need to have a niche, and you need to know who your target market is in order to be most effective in your area.
Why is it important for musical artists to work with a PR firm like yourself?
Well, that's a great question. It's very important. A lot of folks reach out to me and they ask for PR services. And to be honest, they have no idea of what public relations is. So we can start there and just kind of talking about what a public relations firm does. There's different styles, there's different types of PR firms. What I do is focus a lot on branding and imaging and helping artists to establish a brand, establish a target market, and to develop a branding campaign. And so that's very, very important because your music can be really good. You can be a very talented artist, but if you don't have this business piece, which is the public relations and branding, you don't really have much of a product. And so in establishing yourself in the industry, you need to have a viable product to be able to present to the world.
Now, most artists feel that their product is their music, but from what you're saying is that the image plays just as big as a role. Is that true?
That's very true, actually, and that's very important that artists begin to look at themselves as a brand, outside of their music, themselves, how they show up in the world, the way that they look, the way people perceive them, the story that they're creating is very important for their music.
So what would you say to artists out there who's looking for a PR person to work with? Like, what are some of the key things that they should ask the PR firm before they make a decision to work with them?
That's another great question. I think the first piece for me is just being knowledgeable about your target market and your niche. Who are you? Why? And why should we invest in you? Why should we work with you? Why should people hear your music? I mean, in terms of branding and imaging, that's the most important, is just knowing who you are and knowing why you're doing your music. Is it because of financial reasons? Are you trying to make money? Or are you really passionate about your art form?
So working in PR, I'm pretty sure you have to be honest with your clients. So when a musical artist approach you with some of their music and it's not the best, how do you answer their question about providing them feedback? Like, how do you go about telling them that this is weak or this is not good music without hurting their feelings?
That's a great question. First of all, I approach my work from the standpoint that, I'm not here to be your friend. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sure you wouldn't be paying me. So, as I approach my work, it's important for me to get perspectives from my network and from the broader community to be able to bring back to artists regarding their target market and, getting them to hear other people's perceptions of their music and getting those messages to be able to resonate with the artist so that they're able to use it in a constructive way. But first, the artist has to be open to be able to receive that constructive feedback, that constructive criticism, or else there's not a way for us to even work together, honestly.
So the artist has to be open to feedback, or should I say constructive criticism.
Right.
Now and I know that a lot of times artists are not receptive to constructive feedback. They always say, oh, you just hating on my music is tight. But in reality, it's not that it's not good. It's good to some people, but it's not good to the market that they're trying to get into, or they're trying to approach. So with this feedback, do you feel discouraged by providing feedback when someone say, "Oh, you're just hating"? Do you feel discouraged, or do you feel like it's your duty, especially if they paying you, to provide them with constructive feedback?
It's definitely my duty. And it is discouraging at the same time when folks will not take constructive criticism from, experts in the field, from professionals, and from everyday people who are the folks that you want to purchase your music. So it is very disheartening and discouraging at times. At the same time, it's what I'm passionate about doing. I'm passionate about keeping it real with people and telling them where they stand from my side of things, from the public relations lens. Where you stand. If a lot of times, artists approach me and they don't have a niche, they don't have a genre at all. They don't really have too much of anything. They don't have a product. Um, and so that's what I'm really great at, is actually coaching them and giving them those nuts and bolts and packaging it in a way that they can actually palate.
Okay, so give me 3 of the top reasons why an artist should work with a PR firm.
I mean, my 3 reasons would probably be the same: branding, branding, and branding. So, in order to effectively market yourself in the music industry, we have to know who you are, what you are, and why. It's basically that simple. Without those things, if you're just an artist out here that's like, oh, I got my hands in a little bit of everything, or if you're trying to do the local thing, or if you're sounding like everybody else, you know, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to go very far.
Right, right.
So, but artists who are able to put on that business hat and are able to interpret, the expertise of a public relations professional, or somebody in the marketing field that studied this craft and that can really help them.
Y'all hear that phone, y'all? She's a busy woman.